Well, you're back for more folly. Tonight, Campfire Talks, Enzo Trapper build 2.0. We're going to drill some scales and dry fit the handle. This ought to be interesting. Stay with me, guys. Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of 3 June 2014, and yes, this is Campfire Talks Enzo Trapper build 2.0. We're drilling, we're dry fitting. About 2 years. He did, in those 2 years, manage to sand his handle scale blanks for flatness. And then he got busy with other stuff, you know, like raising a family, moving, building furniture for his wife. And so the old Enzo just kind of languished and didn't see much activity. And, you know, in the last year and a half or so that he and I have been, I guess, building our friendship. He knows that one of my aspirations in life when I, quit being a manager of a car dealership is to spend my twilight years piddling in my shop making knives. Who knows, maybe more. And I've never made a knife. And he thought, you know what, this Enzo Trapper is just sitting here doing nothing. Why don't I send it up to my buddy Rob, and he can A, get my knife finished, and B, get his feet wet making knives. So that's what I'm doing. And it's kind of cool, I gotta say. It is a bit daunting since I have no real knife making equipment. We're gonna do a lot of this with a rasp and a handsaw and a lot of sandpaper. We might break out the Dremel. We do have a power drill, but I have no knife grinder. Not that the blade needs a power grinder, but it's going to be an interesting project. I don't have a wood shop, and it's going to be hand tools and good old American ingenuity. So let's get started, shall we? Okay guys, before I commence to scrapping Campfire Talk's knife, I wanted to explain to you a little bit about what I'm going to do and why, because this is kind of a step in this Enzo Trapper process that in the YouTube videos I've watched, some of the guys who have made these really didn't kind of grasp what's going on. What we've got is a blade tang sandwiched between two scales, sort of held together with these pins, and they are, as you can see, a two-piece screw and barrel assembly essentially. This smaller diameter portion of the barrel is 3/16 of an inch, and the larger portion is 1/4. And the way these are really designed to work are for the small diameter to go through a countersunk small diameter in each handle scale, and then these 3/16 holes in the blade tang. And I'll show you the scale that I've already done to see if you can kind of pick this up. But notice on the outside of the scale is 1/4 inch diameter. On the inside is 3/16, and the stack up of the reduced diameter thickness of this handle scale and this handle scale and the thickness of the blade tang must be a little greater than the length of that small diameter. That's how you get clamping force with these pins. And if you notice, they're slotted, so they assemble with a screwdriver, but when they're completely assembled, that pin will be longer than the knife handle is thick. And when you grind them off, the slots disappear and they look like rivets, although they're really not. I've seen some guys that don't kind of grasp this, and actually one video I watched, the guy saw this oval hole in the blade tang and he thought, oh, I've got screw together construction. I can hollow out my handle scales and I have a storage area inside my knife. Well, that won't work because that pin is going to be longer than the handle is wide if you try to retain the slot, and that would look really funny. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drill actually a 5/32 hole first, because a 3/16 drill bit will not go through that hole. It must be like exactly 3/16 of an inch. So I'm going to use the blade tang as a locator. I'm going to drill a through hole. Then I'm going to take the blade tang away. I'm going to clean that up, that 5/32 hole I'm going to clean up at 3/16, and then I'm going to go to my 1/4 inch, and my 1/4 inch drill bit is taped, and the exposed part of that drill, and this piece is all torn up because I've already done one scale with it, but the exposed end of that drill is 3/16 of an inch. I've done a little math. My subscribers in Yorba Linda might see that as a foreign concept, but I've actually done the math, and I know that if I drill that countersink 3/16 of an inch thick, I will have enough material left at the bottom of that countersink on both sides to suck up my handle and have it be tight. Having said that, my math could be wrong. But anyway, that's what we're going to do, and that's why. So stick with me. I'm going to bring the camera in a little tighter right here on the bench so you can see what's going on, and who knows, by the end of this video, Campfire Talk might be out of knife because it might be junk. But I don't think so. So let me move the camera and we'll get started making some holes. Okay guys, we're going to start with our 5/32 bit using our blade tang as a locating template. And the reason we got to drill this 5/32 instead of 3/16 is so it'll go through the handle of the blade. So this is going all the way through. Clean as a whistle. Now we're going to flip to the other side. No, doggone it. Attitude of my clamp wasn't quite right. Okay. And we'll come to the other hole. Okay. Now we can unclamp. Don't need the blade anymore. Now we're going to switch to the 3/16 bit. And we're going to go all the way through again. Just trying to maintain pretty vertical here. Check to make sure our small diameter barrel will go through that hole, and it will. Okay. And we'll do the other one. Okay. Oops. And we're good. Now comes the tricky one. Now comes the tricky one. Trying to do this 1/4" countersink without going too far, number one, and number two, without really marring the edges of the hole. So, got to be really firm here. In fact, let's just clamp that, maybe. And guys, thank you for your concern, by the way. Guys who were worried about me marring the surface of this curly maple. I assure you that this is not a finished surface, and it'll be fine. Okay, now we're going to come in. I'm going to try to maintain super vertical. Okay, got it. Boy, that likes to bite quick. About perfect there. Let's come back to the other side. Let's try some assembly. These quarters are a little tight. That can't be a bad thing, huh? Oh my. Looky there, would ya? You know, those are such a tight fit. Okay, we are home. I need something to tap with. It's not a hammer, it's a really nice little T-handle driver. I just need to get the heads of these, or I need to get these barrels through. Well, I should really have my protector on there. Okay guys, you should be able to see there. My short barrels are protruding past my blade tang. I'm going to bring this one through just a touch more. Now we should be able to put this on. We're threading. Yes, we are. So I should be able to thread these in, have them sort of bottom out, and apply some decent clamping force. Kind of see where we end up here. I'm curious. That's about it. And let's try this one. And that's about it. Hey, I'm pretty happy with that. I've got all my heads are proud. So I got room to grind. My handle's nice and tight. So when I get all this thing cut out and shaped, we should have a pretty good looking end result. I don't have too many voids. That's going to look good. Well, that's all for tonight, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Next time, I don't know how much of the cutting and sawing and shaping I'm going to show you, but I'll probably take some clips, and we should have a roughly shaped handle going together with epoxy next time we check in on Campfiretalk's Enzo Trapper build 3.0. Feel free to weigh in once again, guys, with helpful hints and tips. Lord knows I can use them. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.